Down here at Fontaine Source for Sports on Park Street, and 10 years since the man beside me has owned this business, Ben Logan. Almost 3 since you've moved to the new location. But
Yeah,
does it feel like a decade?
no, it really doesn't. It's hard to believe. It kind of I don't know where the time went, to be honest. But um, yeah, it doesn't feel like 10 years. It doesn't feel like we've been here for 3 yet. There's still people that come in the door that are like, "Oh, you guys just moved. I haven't come and seen you yet." And it's like, well, we didn't just move, but it hasn't been that long, I guess. Especially when you're in the old building when the store was there for almost 70 years or 70 years. Sorry.
Yeah, 1953, the business itself opened. I think it
Yeah,
was downtown for a little bit before on the main strip, and then over
yeah,
into that little place right by just before the Hunter Street Bridge,
Queen Street.
Queen Street.
Yeah,
Yeah. So, what was the restaurant beside there too? There was, I remember.
Charlotte Ann's.
Yes. Okay. Exactly. So that was kind of the spot. Charlotte Ann's, then get your skates done or whatever you needed to do, and now here, this is a familiar corner for maybe people who are in this end of town. This was the library that used to be
Used to be
here.
the De La Fosse Library. Yep.
We're right in the story time
We're in
corner.
Story Corner. Now it's Skate Corner.
No, it's perfect. And
Yeah.
I can remember as a kid, it's always exciting going into a sporting goods store. I mean, the amount of stuff that's in here, it's like a toy store for any kid who's into sports and getting skates and getting fitted, all that sort of stuff. Fontaine's is kind of known for that over the years, and 73 years in business altogether. And you guys have kept your core values and certain things the same, right?
Yeah, it was the most important thing when I took over that, we kept that service oriented business where you come in, we want to fit you right with the right gear, we want to fit the skates right, and we want to sell you the right bike, for what you're doing. And it's about coming in and having that, old school mentality that when you come in, you're going to get face to face service, and that, you know, we sincerely care about the product we're selling. We want to sell the right product to the right people.
And you guys service most of the stuff you sell, right? So
Yeah,
anything you buy here, you can kind of come back and you guys will look after it.
yeah. We service skates from sharpening to rivets to profiling. We service bikes, pretty much all makes and models except for some of the new e-bike stuff if it's not a brand we sell. But yeah, for the most part, we service everything we sell. We release baseball gloves now as well. We actually release lacrosse sticks as well. So yeah, we've actually added some more services with some new staff as well. So that's which is nice.
How did you get involved? Terry Bover owned it for a very long time on the Queen Street location. And then when you bought it in 2016, was it something that you had in the back of your mind that you were waiting for Terry to maybe sell it, or it just sort of come about? But yeah, how did you become the owner?
Well, funny enough, I grew up in East City, and my brother actually worked before me there. He's 3 years older than me, and he started there sweeping the floors. And then he ended up moving on to another job, and then we knew Terry knew my uncle, so kind of family connection. I was about 16, went over, talked to him, and started out basically doing what my brother did, sweeping the floors and doing moving boxes and cleanup stuff. And that's where I started. And then eventually just kept working part-time through playing for the Lakefield Chiefs, and then ended up going to Fleming College, ended up going back on full-time. The guy who was working there at the time managing the store, he ended up leaving, and I was in my early 20s and basically took on, you know, more responsibility and progressed from there. And then I was pretty young. I was about 20, 24. We had our first child. And then, things were getting pretty hectic, and I was taking on a lot of responsibility at the store. And, a couple of years later, had some discussions, trying to decide if this is something that I want to do or not. Ended up making, a deal there. We ended up coming to terms with the deal. I said, by the time I'm 30, I really want to, this needs to be mine, or I'm going to move on, because I had some different, ideas in mind. So I needed to go in a different direction, and we ended up coming to terms, and it's 10 years ago now.
It's wild. Time
Yeah.
flies. And you mentioned some different ideas. We talked about the core stuff that you did keep here. So what did you incorporate yourself that has changed, that were ideas that you wanted to implement in this store?
Well, I really wanted to go deeper into hockey. I wanted to be, head to toe. I wanted to have every one of the newest products. I wanted to have the high end. I wanted to have the entry level, and I wanted to go deeper into it. And I wanted to be able to service the customer from start to finish more. I wanted to invest more into it. I wanted to grow the business. So he was at the point in his career where things were comfortable and the business was good, but there just wasn't that energy to grow it. So I saw that there was more potential for it, and I wanted to grow it and wanted to see where it would go. And same with on the bike side, we had some really strong bike years, and then after COVID, that's when the bike industry, kind of hit a lull, but it's coming back a bit now too. But needless to say, in hockey, we now are an elite custom dealer for pretty much every brand, and we offer every product that the bigger stores offer now. So we have that ability to showcase everything that's out there.
Did you come down to this end of town knowing that the Miskin Community Complex was coming in, or did that just sort of work out? You guys were here, and then it was announced that that was getting built? Because I mean, it's right down the street from a great arena.
I knew it was coming. So, and then this building went on the market, and a friend of mine, my real estate agent Jeff Wilson, there, he said we should check this building out, and I'm like, I looked at it, I said, yeah, it's like 3 blocks from where the new arena is going. And it was about a year before the new arena opened, right? But it was like, okay, so come take a look. And it's like, you're close to Healthy Planet, you're close to Miskin, you're close to Memorial Center. It's still closer to the Kinsman as well from the old store. And we're only about 1.5 kilometers from the old store. So yeah, I did know. And then I realized, okay. And then if you look at in comparison to the 115, in comparison to Costco, and then Park Street is the main vein to go from the north to the south. So it just made sense logistically to me. And here we are.
With everything constantly changing, not just in hockey gear, but in cycling and in a lot of stuff. I mean, I can remember back in the day, you'd walk in, if we're sticking with hockey, Sherwood hockey sticks, $20 off the rack. Now, I mean, that's impossible, of course. Things have changed. So how has that changed the business model for you guys with the equipment evolving, prices going up? Because obviously you have to take a more careful look at how you're doing things.
Yeah, well, the cost of inventory is obviously way higher. You have to, understand what the consumer's looking for. And then we're also a fulfillment store with the Source for Sports website online. So people can order from the website, and then hopefully we fulfill it from our store, and that also takes care of needs there. But yeah, we're obviously very aware of the costs and such, but the demand is still there. So right now it's a focus. You got to have the product, or else people are going to go elsewhere to find it.
And in terms of product, what are some of the stuff that maybe people might not know that you guys have here? Aside from, we've talked about the hockey, the cycling, you mentioned you're starting to get into lacrosse, but what are some products that maybe people would be surprised that you have in here?
Well, we do a lot of baseball as well. Lacrosse is definitely growing for us as well. Team business, so we're doing much more in-house decoration. We have a lot more association business now as well. But I mean, other than that, we've done hockey and bikes, like I say, the whole time, and those are our 2 biggest categories. But definitely baseball and lacrosse we've focused more with too. So
bikes, you guys have a whole service department that people can bring their bikes into, and you've got a crew down there that's all they're doing?
Yeah, we have a side entrance, and then the service area down there, and then we utilize both levels for service and retail, and it's worked out really well. Just to keep our work areas apart, because before we moved here, everything was all in a small area. So you're fixing bikes, fixing skates, sharpening skates, all in one area, and it was a little chaotic. So it's nice to have separate work areas and, more space to show stuff.
You mentioned growing up in East City. You born and raised in Peterborough. Your family from here. You guys
Yep.
have always been here.
Yep. East City, born and raised.
Yeah. So school, everything was here.
Yep. King George, Armour Heights, Tass.
Perfect.
So, yeah, never lived in another city. Obviously, visited a lot of places, but born and raised here, and raising my family here, and yeah.
Yeah, great community. So obviously important for you growing up here to have a business that is in the community you grow up in.
Big
Not
time.
only the connections, knowing people, but it's a great city. This is home. Peterborough's great.
Yeah, there's so many good people, so many good, businesses, long-standing businesses, and they're community focused, and try to give back in the best ways we can. And we're lucky because we have customers, and you remember them. You're not just a number when you come in the door. It's like you may not remember everybody's name, but you definitely recognize them, and it's important, right? And it's the only way that we could keep going and going this long is that we have loyal customer base and people that continue to support.
So. And 10 years we talked about that since you took it over, 1953 since the business has been here. A lot has evolved. When you first started as a teenager walking through this door, what's the biggest change that you've seen in the industry and in the business that you look back and say, wow, I can't even believe it used to be that way?
Cool. There's a few things, quite a few things. I mean, from putting your foot on a virtual scanner that 3D scans your foot to fit a skate, to pedal assist e-bikes with features that you'd never seen before, to now we have a custom stick fitting kiosk as well. I mean, there's just so much more technology, but when it comes down to it, we still sharpen skates by hand. So we have automated machines, but it's still important. It's something that we still continue to do, that we're probably never going to change. So
do you look much into the future, or are you just kind of living day by day, or do you have some things that you've set as goals that by this amount of time or this many months down the road I want to ensure that this is taken care of? Or is it just so busy and kind of live in the moment, and when things evolve you'll deal with it then?
Well, I don't think like when you talk about evolution too, like you talked about the Sherwood sticks, I guess getting back to that, like the stick technology has gotten to a point where I don't know how much more it can really evolve, other than just the latest. A lot of it's marketing too, right? I mean, the technology in the sticks is so high, the technology in the skates is so high, so you do have to look ahead, but it's mainly like preparing for those busy seasons which that are coming, right? And this is now, July and August are our busiest fitting seasons for hockey, and it's like we got to be ready, and we're ready because we take the product earlier and earlier now. But looking forward to the next year, what are the economy in the spring was a little bit soft, and now you're looking at it going, as far as this business goes, it seems to be consistent. I don't see a lot of growth going forward. I think we've gotten to a point where I don't know how much more we can grow, and but it's still, we got to maintain. So
last thing I want to ask you, you obviously have to have great products or else people aren't going to come in here. You've got to have top of the line, the best of the best, but it's the staff that bring people in here as well. And anytime I poke my head in, you get greeted right away. The people are asking you what you need. They're on top of things from the moment you walk in the door. So how important has it been for you to maintain such a great staff, and what do they mean to your business?
Staff is everything, and that's the biggest part. Well, that's one of the biggest changes since I started. We went from 5 staff 10 years ago to 14 now, and a lot of my current staff, especially the younger crew, were co-op students. So I take co-op students from all of the area high schools, usually 2 per semester, and that's really worked out to finding good people that want to be here. And then a lot of them have stayed on for long terms. And then I've had people come and go that have put in a good amount of time here, and they've moved on to different careers, but they've learned a lot, and they've at the end of the day, good people make your business, and they're willing to learn. They want to do a good job, and they learn that the customer and that service is important. So
Well,
yeah,
I appreciate you taking the time, and it's been great to see all the growth since you've taken this business over, and look forward to everything that you got planned for the future.
thanks a lot, Scott. I appreciate the time.